Hello, and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we are going to just read the entirety of Joshua chapter 20. It's just 9 verses. We're going to start with the English Standard Version. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Say to the people of Israel, appoint the cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Moses, that the manslayer who strikes any person without intent or unknowingly may flee there, and they shall be before you a refuge from the avenger of blood. He shall flee to one of these cities, and shall stand at the entrance of the city gate, or of the gate of the city, and explain his case to the elders of that city. Then they shall take him into the city, and give him a place, and he shall remain with them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not give up the manslayer into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unknowingly and did not hate him in the past. And he shall remain in that city until he has stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who is high priest at the time. Then the manslayer may return to his own town and his own home, to the town from which he fled." So they set apart Kedesh in Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath-arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho, they appointed Bezer in the wilderness on the tableland from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead from the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the people of Israel, and for the strangers sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee there, so that he might not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. New Century Version. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites to choose the special cities of safety, as I had Moses command you to do. If a person kills someone accidentally and without meaning to kill him, that person may go to a city of safety and hide. There the killer will be safe from the relative who has the duty of punishing a murderer. Then when the killer runs to one of these cities, he must stop at the entrance gate, stand there, and tell the leaders of the people what happened. Then that person will be allowed to enter the city and will be given a place to live among them. But if the one who is chasing him follows him to that city, the leaders of the city must not hand over the killer. It was an accident. He did not hate him beforehand or kill him on purpose. The killer must stay in the city until the court comes to a decision, and until the high priest dies. Then he may go back home to the town from which he ran away." So the Israelites chose these cities to be cities of safety: Kedesh in Galilee in the mountains of Naphtali, Shechem in the mountains of Ephraim, Kiriath-arba, also called Hebron, in the mountains of Judah, Bezer on the east side of the Jordan River near Jericho in the desert in the land of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the land of Gad, and Golan in Bashan in the land of Manasseh. Any Israelite or anyone living among them who killed someone accidentally was to be allowed to run to one of these cities of safety. There he could not be killed before he was judged by the relative who had the duty of punishing a murderer. Okay, so there is quite a bit in this chapter, but I'm only going to try to focus on a couple of things. The first thing I want to focus on here is these cities of safety, or refuge cities, or whatever you want to call them, were only meant to be temporary. Now that temporary could have been a couple of months. It might have even been a couple of years. Hard to say on that, but still, nonetheless, temporary. They were not meant to be permanent. Now, the other thing I would like to point out here is this is definitely, we're talking Old Testament. We today live under New Testament law. We do not live under the Old Testament law at all. So this is a history lesson for us. This is not something for us to say, hey, let's go ahead and do this. Because it was allowed back in those times that if someone had a family member killed, there was a person in that family that was designated the avenger of, but if someone was killed, that person was allowed to go out and seek the murderer. We can't do that today. We got laws today, not just human laws against murder, but we've also got God's laws. We live under the New Testament. God is the one that brings about the justice, the vengeance, the mercy, the grace, all of that. And when he talks about mercy and grace to us, that is something that we today are supposed to show others as well. Mercy, grace, and forgiveness, because that is what God teaches. Now, God is also, like I said, a vengeful and jealous God. But again, that's him. That's not us. We should not ever try to play God and take justice into our own hands in today's world. So please understand, I am not advocating for that Old Testament lifestyle at all. Now, all of that being said, these people back then, whenever they entered these cities, after the trial was done, and after the high priest died, so there was a couple of stages, then they were allowed to go back home, and no harm would come to them. Now, another thing I understand about these cities of refuge, or these cities of safety, or whatever, is if the person that was fleeing for their life, let's say they entered that city, at any point, if they were to leave that city before the trial, while they are outside the city gates, city walls, it was free game if the family avenger was still in that area. So, that's again my understanding. If I am wrong on that, please let me know in the comments. Again, today we rely on God. We don't take matters into our own hands. We do have systems set up where hopefully laws are very just. And that is a phrase that can be left up to interpretation by any and everyone, and I'm aware of that. But anyway, I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.